200 years, the British Army has trained officers at what is now the Royal Military Academy. This is Sandhurst.
I'm conscious that it can be quite intimidating arriving at Sandhurst, especially for those who have had little exposure to the military before. Therefore, the purpose of this short video is to give you an idea of what to expect when you step through the gates of Sandhurst, including some of the challenges, so that you can arrive better prepared both mentally and physically. The Academy has over 200 years of history and a worldwide reputation for being a centre of excellence for leadership and development of our young officers. You will follow in the footsteps of many great leaders of the last 2 centuries. Young officers have gone on to become generals, heads of state and captains of industry. Sandhurst has been formative in their development, and this is still the case today. On the commissioning course, you will stand shoulder to shoulder with people from all walks of life, both male and female, education and ethnicities, graduates and non-graduates. Some will have previous military experience, most will not. Sandhurst has also had the honour of training potential officers from over 70 nations from around the world. It is really important for all potential officers to learn about and understand different cultures, because we will certainly be involved in multinational operations in the future. Building the relationships that will last a lifetime start here. At Sandhurst, you will receive the most intensive and demanding officer training, which is delivered by the best instructors the British Army has to offer. You will forge close bonds with your fellow cadets, and together you will be tested mentally and physically. You will discover things about yourself that you were not aware of, both strengths and weaknesses. You will learn to lead when you are cold, wet, hungry and exhausted. And that being physically fit and robust gives you the edge when those around you start to fade. You will understand the true meaning and value of teamwork, where it is all about others and not yourself. You'll make friends that you'll keep for the rest of your life. And you will not only learn the importance and relevance of the British Army's core values: courage, discipline, selfless commitment, integrity, respect for others, and loyalty. Ultimately, you will understand what it truly means to serve to lead.
For your military career. On arrival, you will be organised into platoons and companies. You will meet for the first time those you will train alongside and the directing staff who will be instructing you. Before we begin to shape you into a leader, you must learn the basics of military life: how to live together, how to look after yourself and the equipment you will be issued, how to present yourself as an officer cadet. You will learn barracks administration and basic drill and start to form teams. Things might seem trivial, but they are important. And unless you get the basics right, you cannot learn the more advanced skills later.
Weeks 1 to 5 are all about a transition from civilian life to becoming a soldier and starting the journey of training to become a young officer. There's a considerable learning curve. In fact, that curve continues through the whole of the junior term. But we are teaching the basic soldierly skills that will be the skills that they'll need to take on and develop through the rest of their career. Exercise self-reliance is designed to get cadets into the field. It's their first exercise at Sandhurst, and it's all about how to live and survive in the field and how to carry out basic individual skills and drills.
There are various core skills you must master, and and equipment you must learn to use effectively. Navigation and map reading are critical.
There's going to be 5 weeks of intense training where you don't have access to your friends and families you might be used to. It's going to be a very different environment, a very structured, very disciplined environment. You need to be able to work hard for a long amount of time. The first 5 weeks, you're up for extended periods of time working and marching around the academy. So if you're not physically prepared for that, then the body is going to feel very tired, and the mind, therefore, very tired very quickly.
Long reach is one of the biggest challenges of a junior term. It's a demanding physical and mental exercise where cadets cover up to 70 kilometres in a 36-hour period over the Black Mountains. It tests the cadets on their navigation skills, their physical and mental robustness, and some of their command skills, basic command skills, through a series of command tasks which they'll conduct at checkpoints. And also, I think really importantly, it tests how well they work within the team.
You will be skilled in the fundamentals of command and learn about the structure of the British Army, as well as basic tactics.
The officer cadets will be introduced to the values and standards which they'll be expected to live and conduct themselves by.
As the course progresses, you will be taught the tools to examine military problems and develop sound, workable solutions.
The MFC, and if the tactical situation permits, the point section commander.
Most important of all, you must be able to deliver your plan to your team.
They'll be introduced to the
Fitness plays a key role throughout the term, and whilst the course is progressive, you must turn up fit. Over the term, you will further develop your stamina, strength, recovery, and overall cardiovascular performance.
The fitness program is progressive, but it's essential that you turn up here with a basic level of fitness.
You will spend a significant amount of time training in the field. This hones both your ability to look after yourself in any environment, as well as improving your command and tactical awareness. The final exercise of junior term is Cricken's Challenge in Sennybridge, Wales. This is an opportunity to apply what you've learnt so far and operate for an extended period in a demanding environment.
Cricken's Challenge is the confirmatory exercise for the first term, and it tests all aspects of the training throughout that term. The exercise not only tests their skills as a soldier, but also tests their skills as a commander, and we start to see those leadership qualities come through. And it's non-stop. Bridge has to throw at them, and the level of activity that they'll put through over that period of time.
By the end of term, you will have a solid grounding in the fundamentals of military leadership, organisation, and the mechanisms of command, control and communications. You will have become accustomed to living in barracks as well as outdoors. The move from the junior to the intermediate term is physical as well as conceptual. Officer cadets will live in New College for the remainder of their time at the academy. As well as a change of scene, there is a shift in focus, with officer cadets taking on more responsibility for themselves and their peers.
As a chief instructor, what I want to see of the cadets coming into the intermediate term is that ability to move away from basic soldiering to really demonstrating their ability to lead in the field, lead in barracks, not just on exercise where everybody associates it with command appointments, but also the example they set to their peers, to their colleagues, in the role that they take in contributing to wider military life, be that on the sports field or academics, because this is the time that they really have the opportunity to stand out from those around them.
There is a heavy emphasis on mastering the combat estimate and orders process. Your training in this area culminates with a test of your ability to analyse a problem in the field and then formulate and deliver a workable plan. All officer cadets, British or overseas, must pass this in order to progress.
We're training the mind to make command decisions, and that's not an easy thing to do. And so the way we instruct it at Sandhurst and the DS who are selected to come here need to be carefully considered.
There is a large academic component over this term. In Faraday Hall you will be taught by world-class academic staff, and you will find yourself challenged in different ways. As well as developing physically, it is an opportunity to grow intellectually. There are a number of key field exercises over the term, each focusing on a different aspect of military operations, and each with unique demands and opportunities. You will expand your military theory, looking at other operations of war. Early in the term, you will be introduced to the principles of defence and fighting in a contaminated environment.
In the middle of the term, we have exercise First Encounter, which is a defensive exercise, and that brings its own challenges in that it is arduous, 5-6 days in the field with very little sleep.
Later in the term, we move into the urban environment and increased complexity.
Towards the end of the term, we have exercise Druids Ridge, which is where the cadets probably, for the first time, get exposed to real complexity. Operating both in an urban environment and also in a rural environment, and dealing with the challenges associated with moving between those two cities.
There is more to officership than purely field skills, however. You will be expected to embody the core values, and you will also learn more about military protocol and tradition, such as formal dining, remembrance, and looking at memorials and battle sites from previous conflicts. Final term at Sandhurst, cadets are not only given more responsibility, but are expected to deal with increasingly complex scenarios. On the first major exercise of the term, Broadsword, cadets find themselves in a complex environment based around a counter-insurgency setting. Over this 10-day exercise, each company will rotate through a period in the rural environment, the urban environment, and as the civilian population in Longmoor Village, a former residential hamlet. It is a fast-paced and demanding exercise where every aspect of an officer cadet's ability and character is tested, often in unfavourable conditions. For the first time, cadets have to deal with minor aggravation, physical stress, and maintaining public order. Exposed to riot conditions designed to put every individual under mental and physical duress, the carefully orchestrated scenarios force cadets to make decisions under pressure, whilst reacting instinctively and applying what they've been taught. It is one of the most exacting, exciting and even fear-inducing environments you will train in, but also one of the most rewarding, and one in which key leadership lessons are taken to heart.
Get your dressing, get closed up. Right, you've just held...
By now, you'll have a very good grasp of what is expected of you.
Very quickly, going up the steps, it's a little bit more difficult than it actually seems.
Senior term will further refine you for commissioning, but there are final hurdles to overcome.
Exercise Dynamic Victory is the final exercise for the cadets on the commissioning course. It's 2 weeks in the field, so it's the longest exercise they do in the field, and really it's the culmination of all of their training, and it nicely combines both conventional tactics and a more of a contemporary operating environment. And of course it's also the live firing package that cadets really look forward to, so 3 or 4 days on the ranges, using live ammunition, working from pairs fire manoeuvre up through sections all the way up to platoon, and the cadets certainly get a lot out of that, and it really focuses their basic skills and drills.
You'll have to apply everything you've been taught so far in a testing, fully networked environment.
We also have the tactical effects simulation equipment up there, which allows us to track where every single member of the security force moves to, when they're shooting, when they are shot themselves, and it provides an excellent forum for an after-action review where each of the cadets can see exactly where they are on the big screen, and it's a useful tool for them to see where they've made their mistakes.
Dynamic Victory culminates in the final attack of the course, with a mission to defeat a sizable enemy in complex terrain. It's an opportunity to showcase what has been learnt on the course, and you're expected to lead at every level and ensure that the attack is a success.
Towards far widest, they come up on the front line, you're suppressing fire onto the mark.
Single line, you're going to feel right, and then immediately left there's a gap. Which is
weak all the way through the gate to do an IED sweep, okay?
The Sovereign's Parade is the crowning moment of your time at Sandhurst. With the entire Academy on parade in front of Old College, in front of a distinguished audience. Your family will be watching along with senior officers, politicians and royalty. The day will be one of the most memorable in your life. And come midnight, under the fireworks of the commissioning ball, your tenure as an officer begins. And a privilege to command soldiers, and the accolade is not given away lightly. Sandhurst will train you to be the best you can be, to serve, to lead.